Hi there, hello, welcome back. I'm in Dalongdong district now. This is one of the oldest districts in Taipei. And this is the Confucius Temple. Thank you for joining me. Let me do a landscape. That's better, that's way better. Thank you. Hey Jerome, man, how are you? I was trying to call you the other day. How are you, my friend? This is the Confucius Temple here. I stopped by the way, I hopped on the MRT in Danshui, if you caught my scope earlier, and it was super packed. And hey Cody, thanks for inviting your followers. So I stopped here at Yuan Shan. This is Dalongdong district, and this is one of the very 100 years old. A lot of ups and downs here. The Japanese tore down a lot of this in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and then they rebuilt it again. And it's not one of the most visited temples, I will tell you, in Taiwan. Confucius temples are beautiful, but there's not as many people that follow Confucianism as other forms of religion here. I do believe it takes more discipline, but you know, Confucianism, actually, they say that Confucianism is one of the reasons why the four tigers of East Asia have done so well economically, because of the beliefs of Confucianism. Can you believe that? Because Confucianism is all about respecting seniors, elders, doing as you're told by your senior people. So if you're in business, you know, you make a good soldier. So the places like Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Seoul, South Korea, the four tigers have done extremely well, and some people theorize that that's the reason why, is because of Confucianism was taught in these places, and the beliefs and philosophy behind Confucianism has helped these places become very successful. Seniors hold wisdom, they absolutely do, and in many countries in the West, they're not valued as highly as places in Asia, to be honest with you. Thank you so much for your hearts, your monkeys. It's the year of the monkey. I'm in the Confucius Temple. We'll take a little spin around here, and then I'm going to show you one of my favorite places, favorite temples in Taiwan. Yes, sadly, it is so true that people just do not respect seniors as well in some places. But they do here. They do here for sure, and it's a good thing. Treated well. This is the inner area of the temple here, and I'm going to speak a little bit softer out of respect. And thanks for joining me. Feel free to share the broadcast. As you can see, it's a little sunnier here. I was close in the last broadcast. If you caught my broadcast from Danshui, that's right near the Pacific Ocean. It's on the Danshui River. So I think we were getting a lot of ocean cloud cover and fog coming in. And so it's quite cloudy up here, but it's quite clear here right now, and you can hear the airplane. And I'm close to the runway of Songshan Airport. It's a regional airport, but they do run international flights out of here as well. And yeah, it's so different down here. So I think near the ocean there was more of a cloud cover coming over and fog rolling in from actually from the Taiwan Strait. So this is the inner sort of temple complex of the Confucius Temple, and it's probably the busiest day is probably Confucius's birthday. When you see the most people out, but people don't come here and worship and follow as much as other religions like Buddhism and Taoism and folk religion. But I'm going to take you to one of those temples in a second. You'll see the people there. It's a beautiful little temple. It's just around the corner from here. This is a really cool little district. It's a nice place to walk. There's some of the oldest streets in Taipei are around here, and I just love these buildings. And look how beautiful it is, and it's pristine and neat. And the trees here are beautiful. Chiang Kai-shek, actually, who was once the dictator of Taiwan, planted a couple of trees in this complex, and we can go take a look at those after. And this is the absolute inner, I wouldn't say inner sanctum, but the inner temple complex of the Confucius Temple. It's really, thank you so much for the monkeys. This is the heart of Chinese culture here in Taiwan. And still, people have had the week off, so there's definitely more people here than usual. You know, it's this is not that old. This whole complex has been built within the last 100 years. Because they had an original structure here, but then the Japanese tore it down, and I think it wasn't until the 1900s, sometimes the late 1900s, where they got the money together to start rebuilding it again. So it's not a terribly old complex, but it's very, very beautiful, as you can see. And then I'm just going to walk out the other side. And it's just a quick little stroll down the street, and then we'll be at the Bao'an Temple. And I featured that temple on my latest podcast, FarEastAdvTravl. Well, this is an old Fujian style roof. Some of them are called swallowtail roofs. I'm not sure about these ones. These are swoop pretty big, but these are very old Fujian style roofs or temples, so very prominent in southern China. Yeah, well, you can't play it, but it was a drum, and they'll use that obviously for festivals and for the birthday celebrations and that. And then these trees, I think it was these trees here that Chiang Kai-shek planted. So this would have been in the 70s, probably 60s or 70s. And they have the sign right there. I think there's the two, this one and this one over here. And if you're in Vietnam, if you're in Hoi An, you'll see this style of temple prominent in Hoi An, as well, as they had lots of immigrants from South China come there at one time. Very, very, very pretty with the ponds and the turtles. Look at the turtles. That one's big. Oh my God! Look how big that one is. There's one on top of the other. Live turtle cam. And then we'll just take a quick, one last look here at this just beautiful temple complex. And then we'll walk down through the street here. It's just a short little cruise around the corner. Yes, and I thought you'd like the colors. I thought people would like the colors because it's so bright out today. And we've had such dreary weather here before the new year, and then once the new year hit, we just got some wonderful weather. And you see the palm trees, and then the roofs in the back there are part of the other temple that we're going to go to right now. This is a really nice neighborhood, really friendly people. Well, friendly people everywhere, but people love their neighborhood here, and are very proud of these temples and the history behind them. And this Bao'an temple is a beautiful little temple. I'm going to show you some of the carvings and artwork if you're interested in that kind of thing. The medicine god is revered here the most. 1.5 degrees. Are you're in the Netherlands right now, my friend? I can't imagine. I was there once in January, and I know it gets pretty icy cold there from the Bering Sea. I think we get those cold drafts coming in. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I crossed the street, but I'm going to cross back This is the street where the temple is, and this is behind the big complex here. And more on this side as well, so you can see how ornate this architecture is, and how developed it is as kind of a little temple district. And here is they burn like joss paper or paper money and things for their relatives that have passed away, and for the gods. And this is to make them happy. And this is a big furnace that they use outside here for that. And yeah, these streets are beautiful. And this is the temple. I'm just going to flip over to get a nice shot. This is the Dalongdong temple in Taipei. And it is a lovely temple. Lots of people out here today. Lots of people out here today. As part of Lunar New Year week. And most people come out on the first day of the year to visit and pray and start the year. Other people are out here traveling in Taipei, coming to these temples all week long, and they be praying at various temples for different reasons too, because some gods are featured. This is a medicine god feature, so many people come here to pray if they're sick or their family members are sick. I'm going to show you around, no worries. And so this is just outside, and then let's take a walk in. No, all of these temples are free. There's no admission fee. The only admission I've ever paid to, I think, for a temple was the Confucius Temple in Tainan. I think it's one of the only temples I think I've ever had to pay an admission to. But all these temples are free. And I think I might have, let me just try my mic here. Are you getting a signal from me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can somebody confirm? I think I may have lost my microphone. In and out, can you hear me? Check, check, check. This is inside, okay, great. This is inside the Mountain Temple, and that's the main altar there that people will pray to the medicine god. And let's get up a little bit closer. We've got some people praying right now. It'd be kind of cool here. Yeah, right. I do eat those, by the way, but my shop that makes them is closed this week. Oh, don't be scared, it's all positive energy. This is the Dalongdong Temple. good baseball players from Taiwan for sure. They have a small professional league here. There's only 5 teams, but they had some corruption issues a few years ago. This is inside the Bao'an Temple. This is one of the most beautiful temples in Taipei, and definitely on the island, no question about it. And then some of the artwork here is just amazing. It's a really good temple to come to at night. The podcast that I just did recently called my FarEastAdvTravl video podcast on iTunes, I came here at night and filmed here, and the lights here at night on this artwork is absolutely amazing. And this is a Taoist temple, so a lot of these scenes are from Taoism. And these are some of the gods. I don't know all of them in the altars here in behind the other courtyard of the temple complex. And then in one of it's the drum tower, I believe. There's a drum tower here. There's a goddess that's kept that women will come to if they're pregnant. She is kind of a goddess of pregnant women or delivery. So if the woman is about to have a child, she'll come here to pray to make sure that she has a safe, healthy delivery. So many of these temples will have different gods that people will come to specifically visit the temple just to pray to that specific god for whatever reason that they need that help in their life or guidance. And I'm just going to come on this side. Drum tower up there. It's really cool, my friend. Very cool. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And they still have all of the offering tables out from this past week. Lunar New Year week obviously brings out the most people. So they set up all of these extra tables because they know that there's going to be like many people coming here to offer food and flowers and things to the gods. And this temple too just does the flower arrangements that they have. The orchids are just some of the most beautiful I've ever seen. If you go to the guidebooks, this temple in Taipei, this one will be always mentioned. Longshan is the biggest, probably busiest temple in Taipei, but this one's always mentioned. No, I'm quite a ways away from that market now. I'm probably about a half-hour MRT ride from that market, and I actually come here because there's a nice little produce store that I come to buy fruit at, because there's all kinds of wonderful fruit in Taiwan, tropical fruit. Yeah, it's spread out quite well from where I was earlier, most definitely. And it's a Saturday here, so lots of people are out and still want to get in some visits to the temples before they go back to work. I'm going to get some fruit. Don't worry, my friend. These are a couple of the gods here that with beautiful paintings and artwork, and all of this stuff is masterfully done, very time-consuming, very expensive. All of these fixtures and things, but so atmospheric. And this is where people pray to the Jade God, the God of gods. And this stonework here again is dragons along all of these columns. And I'm gonna just cross the street, give you another shot of the temple. And there you are, the Bao'an Temple. Happy New Year, Jinyin Kuai-le. It's the year of the monkey. It's starting out an interesting year. It's a beautiful day in Taipei. I'm just in shorts and t-shirt right now. It's the first time I've been able to do that in a long, long time. Yeah, it's FarEastAdvTravl studio. It's so cool down there. I just love wandering around. I've been coming to this one now for at least a couple of years, 2.5 years, and it's a wonderful place to visit and soak in the atmosphere and the good feeling there. People are very proud of their temples and their communities, and I can tell you the people I've met that belong to the congregation of this temple, they just love this temple. You're going to scope Sydney? Well, I will watch out for that. Follow me and I'll follow you back. That sounds very cool. It's one of the most beautiful harbors in the world, so all you have to do is just stick the camera out and you'll probably get tons of people checking you out. So it sounds good. This is Dalongdong, very old neighborhood here in Taipei. Nice little food and snack stalls around here. Cool. And there's a little ice shop down the street called Ice Baby that I come to, especially in the summer times, because they make a great mango ice dessert here, which is a very popular snack in Taiwan. This temple was first built in early 1800s, and it's gone through a lot of renovations as well. And just take a walk into this kind of complex here. This looks like a little mini lantern festival that they have. I've seen these lights on at night, and it's a little bit of a mini lantern festival here. And some lovely lush gardens and flowers, and more buildings, part of this huge complex here in this lovely neighborhood. Reminds me of China. Well, I'll tell you, I know people that have lived in China and have come here and they say Taiwan is more Chinese than China. Can you believe that? They never had a cultural revolution here, so I mean, all of this stuff is original. Some of it's had to been rebuilt because of World War II, say for example Wangshan Temple, and fires and earthquakes and things like that. But the culture is unbroken here. It's traditional culture, and it is really true Chinese culture. in Taiwan. So dragons, many dragon images, swans, anything that's lucky or good will be on these temples, or as protections as well, protections against evil. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Good luck with your scope from Sydney Harbour. Just a lovely day here in Taipei. So thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again. 谢谢，拜拜。